Hello everyone and welcome back to Abundant Automation, where we are still in the process of building our very own rail yard and our very own outpost builder. And for that we shall determine what should go in it. Now, how do we do that? I think a good good measure would be to say, well, this train, we want it to be able to build 10 outposts of any kind. So either 10 ore outposts or 10 oil outposts or a combination of the two. 10 outposts before going back to base. So let's see what we can say about that. Alright, let's load the blueprints that we actually use for building those outposts. So that's the mining column, and that's the ore outpost. Right, so the mining column. For every, stay here. For every one medium power pole, we need 3 mining drills. And for every 2 mining drills, we need 3 belts. Yeah, let's quickly hop over to one of these outposts. Let's see. I think iron 2 is probably the biggest we have in terms of surface area. And we'll take a look at how many miners we have there, and then work with those numbers when planning. And that's, well, compared to the sizes of deposits we will find when we go farther outward, that's still fairly small, and that's 100 miners. So why don't we call it 150? 150 for one mining thingy, one outpost, and see what we can do from there. And in total, we're almost up to 3 times the amount of belts. Of course, that's just an estimate, because the amount of belts will obviously depend on, well, how much you need to merge and how far away the deposit is from the actual loading station. But I think we can go with that. So let's say we're estimating 150 mining drills per outpost. So that would say 1,500 of them. So that's essentially just one wagon full of mining drills. Let's do it. Yeah, had to sneeze there for a minute. Well, not for a whole minute, mind you. That would be one hell of a sneeze, I guess. Yeah, I completely sneezed away my thought. Whereas, yeah, mining drills. Alright, so fill all of them. Now, what else? We need, what do we say, 2 to 3, so it's 250 belts. So we definitely want one full wagon of belts. Fill all. But other than that, so for the remaining, so just to kind of supply these mining drills, we need another 15 stacks in here, in addition to those 30. And then we have another 15 slots. How do we spend them? So the outpost itself, we can't really say much about that. But I would say we shouldn't plan beneath... we shouldn't plan anything less than 2 stacks per outpost. So that would again be... yeah, it would again be 20 stacks. That's quite a lot of stacks. Oh well, we wanted to build it, let's build it. It's no use having a small outpost builder if you want to go far with it. And I don't want to have to remake this station all over again. So here's a thought. With the outpost up there, we had almost... well, I remember that correctly. Let me quickly walk over there and double check. But if memory serves, we did observe 3 times the number of belts than the number of mining drills. So that would also be a good estimate, I guess. Of course, as already said, the ratios are not set in stone, but yeah, it's close to 1 to 3. And then it's also, well, not that many underground belts really. You only ever need 2 for one of the final belts to go under. Not that many splitters either. So I think we would be fine bringing maybe 2 stacks of splitters. That would be 10 per outpost. And like I said, we really don't need that many. We really don't need that many underground belts. So 1 stack of them is quite possibly just enough. So let's see what we can do going from that. Let's start from the bottom here. So 1 stack of those, or 2 stacks of them. I'm halfway tempted to do 3 stacks, but let's do 2. And then let's fill the rest. Oh, yeah, of course. So that's one hell of a lot of belts. And we're definitely not going to be... 6 wagons definitely not going to be enough for that. Alright, so that's 150 times 10. And then 150 times 10 times 2. Or times 3, 2 point something. Now once again, this is going to be 5 underground belts per outpost. Should be enough. 10 splitters per outpost should be enough. Yeah, let's go with that. If we run out at some point or another, we can always change the ratios by a little bit. Let's just get you out of the way. So that's already 4 wagons, and we haven't really done anything considering power and the actual stations. This is just mining. Alright, so it's a 1 to 3 ratio between medium poles and miners. So we essentially need 10 stacks. Let's make that 11. 11 stacks so that we have a little bit of a buffer, and we also may need 1 or 2 to bridge some gaps. Then I think we're also good with just 1 stack of big and 1 stack of substations, because, well, big electric poles, we don't really need them to build the outposts themselves. All we need big electric poles for is just the track, laying the track and distributing power along it, and that will be a cargo for the FAL. And then substations, we only need 2 for the actual station. So that's more than enough to carry 1 stack there. Now what else? We need... Well, let's call that 30. Yeah. 30 inserters, 30 of each inserter type, and 30 smart chests. So that's 6 stacks. They don't fit in here. But let's start with fast inserters. That's 6. And then 6 stacks of you. Now we have 5 remaining, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different items in this. Yeah, so we can do another 2, because we have 7 inserter slots. 7 potential inserter slots. We can also always take more. Take more of something we already have in here, but let's, for a minute, discard that disturbing thought. Alright, the oil outpost. What about you? You really don't need much of anything. Definitely less of each. Ah, but there's the other types of chests. Can we maybe fit those in? We need 150, that's 3 stacks each. That's also not something we can fit in here. What else do we need for all of this? It's only small quantities of stuff, really. You know what we're gonna do? I think we're just gonna say, alright, these will all be express belts. And then we'll put the underground belt and splitters in here. And then we can even say something like, alright, maybe we want 1 additional buffer of each of those. And then we're going to say big poles, maybe also 2 stacks. We won't need more than 1 stack of substations, that much is for certain. And then we have 4, 5, 6 of these, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that alright? I really don't need that many big poles. So let's once again go back from where we were, and I think that's about where I want to be now. 12 stacks of medium poles, 1 big, 1 substation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and another 6, and then 3 splitters and 1 underground belt. Makes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different items. Very well. Very well indeed. Alright. Continuing on, what else do we have? So we did say we need passive providers and active providers. 15 per outpost, so that's 150. That's 3 stacks. That's no problem at all. We don't need to do any fancy extra because we're only ever going to need them at the stations proper. Now and then there is a lot of small stuff and rail. So for these, let me just get you an inventory so that I don't have to move my mouse so far every time. So for the stations alone, we need about 50 straight rail. Then add to that some rail we need to connect the actual stuff to the next junction or the next piece of track for the junction itself. I think going with 100 straight rail and maybe 25 curved rail would be a good bet here. So with 100, with 100 straight rail, there would be 10 stacks and then 5 stacks of curved track. How about signals? There are 10 regular signals in here and 2 chain signals. Also stations. Alright, so definitely we want... Oh no, we can't do that. Let's do it the old-fashioned way then. Some people prefer to do this. And then this. Oh no, it's still 2 clicks anyway. Just a little bit of extra mouse movement. Don't mind that too much. He says after just having made a big deal of moving the blueprints around so he doesn't have to move his mouse. Alright. At any rate, so that's our 10 stacks of straight rail, but that's only... Yeah, here I am joking, that's only 500. We wanted no, that is 1,000. Stacks of straight rail are stacking up to 100. And now the next thing I said was 25 curved track per thingy. But to be honest, 25 is really a bit too much, isn't it? I mean, there's 10 in here, and then for a... Let's load the junction in here. For this junction you need 8. For granted, for bigger junctions you might need a bit more. Yeah, I think let's stick with 25. So then that's... Yeah. So that's a quarter of the amount of straight rail that we want. That means half the amount of stacks, because curved rail only stacks to 50. Alright, we're up to 4 items in this wagon now. What else do we want? Yeah, we did talk about signaling. I think 1 stack of chain signals, a bit not enough. Yeah, and then by the same token, we commonly need a lot of normal signals for junctions and the like. So let's put some of those in there as well. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different items. There's also room for a train stop. We need 2 of these per... Yeah, this works out pretty well. I stack up to 10. We need 2 per outpost. 1 for the axis and 1 for the station proper. So that's... yeah, 20 train stops. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, next wagon. What else are we missing? We're still missing a lot of the small stuff. So let's just throw some things in there and see what sticks. So we definitely want 1 assembling machine potentially per what's it called, and then 1 arithmetic combinator per station. We don't actually need red wire or green wire because you get those for free. What else? Pipe might also be a thing. Pipe and pump jacks. The pump jacks stack to 20. I've rarely ever seen an oil deposit with more than 5 pump jacks in the vicinity, but if we go farther outward, could be a thing. So let's say 10. That's 10 times 10. Yeah. 10 times 10 makes 400. That's 5 stacks in my book. Now we're up to 3 items. What about the amount of pipe we need? It's very hard to say, actually. It really depends on how they're all laid out. Let's see, if we do 5 stacks of each, we're at 250. That means 25 per. I think that's a little not enough. So let's do 10 stacks of regular pipe, 10 stacks of curved pipe, and hope that we're fine with that. I think we will, because I don't think we're ever going to be doing 10 oil outposts in a row. Alright, and what else do we want in here? Something we did forget for those. No, we have... oh, roboports, of course. We have everything that we need for those. Alright, so 1 stack of roboports. No, 2 stacks actually. And 1 stack of storage tanks. Because we didn't actually put them anywhere else, did we? No, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 different types. That's about everything, I think. We have power, we have all of this stuff. I will still want... yeah, I think I will still want another wagon here. For some robots. So if we do 10 here, that's, I think, a bit too much. So we'll do it like this. 5 stacks of each. Those will be the logistics bots for the outposts, the oil outposts. Those will be construction bots that I can use. And I think I want to fiddle with this last bit for a little while. Because I feel we can do a little bit of automation here. If we take something out of this, we could do something like, well, do a roboport and place it here at the outpost site, and then have them construct the outpost themselves. Maybe. We'll see about that. I'm still not 100% certain, so we'll have to fiddle with this last wagon in the next episode. But I think the rest looks pretty solid so far, and this has been, or will have been, the most labor intensive of these utility trains, because the FAR is really just 3 or 4 different ingredients, and the disposal train is none at all, and the concrete train is just 1. So yeah, the worst is already behind us. So looking forward to the next episode and more railyard construction. I shall leave it there. Until then, and as always, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been Scryant, and I shall see you soon.